Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Completionist. I'm back for the summer season, guys, but unfortunately I'm not going to be back for very long. I know I usually get 3 weeks off over the summer holiday, but unfortunately it's really busy in my area where I work, and unfortunately because of that, my summer holiday got cut down to 2 weeks. But I wanted to take this opportunity, while I'm home, to actually get a few videos made, even though I'm on the tail end of my vacation right now. So I'll see what I can come up with, because a lot of the tasks that I had to look after while I was home have been looked after. So I got a little bit of free time right now, so I just wanted to get some videos made for you guys. So anyway, guys, so the first video I wanted to do since I came back during the summer is literally a summer tradition for this channel, and this is going to be another episode of 5 channels that deserve 1,000 subscribers. So basically, the history with this series, guys, even though I've explained it in the previous videos as well, is this is the opportunity that I try to give back to other smaller gaming channels on YouTube, because let's face it, guys, we don't really see a lot of shout-out videos, especially these days. It used to be a much common thing, back maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, but I barely see it right now. And this gives me a perfect opportunity to give shout-outs for gaming channels that may not have the biggest audience out there. And I think these are channels that deserve to be watched by other gamers that that watch my content, and this is my way of literally giving back to them. So down below in the at the bottom of the screen, guys, I'm going to leave links to all the 5 channels that I'm going to mention. So anyway, guys, before I get started, I am going to steal from 2 channels that I'm subscribed to, which is Dustin Christ and Baldwin Nick 1982, and I'm going to start my video off with a drink. So anyway, this video is brought to you by literally my favorite locally made beer here in Newfoundland, and it's called Iceberg Beer from the Kitty Vitty Brewery. It's only available in this province in Newfoundland, so if you want to get some, you have to come to this province to get it. But I absolutely love this beer. Anytime that I've had some free time since I've been home, I've been drinking this stuff, and it's actually one of my favorite beers. It's just really smooth, and it's made with pure 20,000-year-old iceberg water. So anyway, if you want a nice beer with a refreshing taste, and you come to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, I highly recommend you give this stuff a try. So, bottoms up. Delicious. So anyway, guys, the first channel that I'm going to shout out is a really good personal friend of mine. I've been subscribed to his channel for a couple of years now. I chat to him a lot on Facebook. I know him on a first name basis. And this guy makes a lot of interesting content, and not only does he make excellent content, but he's also a cosplayer as well. And I've seen some of the costumes that he's actually made with regards to his cosplay, and he's actually done a really fantastic job. And I hope it's a hobby that he actually sticks with, because when he actually has the time, to make his costumes, they actually turn out incredibly well. But besides being a cosplayer, he makes a lot of excellent content, and it's a wide range of stuff that I really appreciate. It could be anything from top 10 lists on very obscure topics that are both intriguing and interesting. He does very fair and balanced game reviews, probably some of my favorite game reviews that I've watched in all of YouTube. But the one thing that I do love the most about his channel, and it's something that he's been doing over the last couple of years, is he's dedicated a month of the year to actually do anime reviews. And one of the best things about his anime reviews is that he has both a fair and balanced approach to it, and he actually keeps his review style incredibly short. So he's incredibly good at compressing his ideas and getting his major points across in a short amount of time. And even though starting this year, he has stopped doing his anime month, where he reviews an anime title every day for an entire month. He's going to do it on a more sporadic basis because it was sucking up a lot of his free time. And I can perfectly understand that, but it's something I always look forward to, because he's always asking for his YouTube audience, for recommendations. And this year, I was very fortunate that he actually gave my favorite anime of all time a try, which was Dominion Tank Police. And even though he didn't enjoy it as much as I did, he did find some things to enjoy about it, and in my eyes, that's all that matters. When it comes to Dominion Tank Police, I don't expect people to enjoy it as much as I do, but as long as you give it a fair try, and as long as you can take at least one good thing about it, that's all that matters to me. And that person's channel is BioPhoenix. And it's, as I said before, I have been subscribed to BioPhoenix, for a really long time. And I think he's only kicking around maybe 700, 800 subs, so he's getting pretty close to that 1,000 benchmark. But he's always kept his stuff really consistent, and I really appreciate that. I really don't know how he finds the time, to put out as much content as he does, but he does. But he's not really on any kind of set schedule, but all the content that he makes, it's always enjoyable. And he's very responsive, to his audience. He's very respectful to his audience. And it's as I keep saying before, I love his review style, regardless if it's video games or anime. And he does the scatter unboxing as well, and sometimes he'll take on gaming discussions, and he will do the scatter live stream as well. So if that's something you're definitely into, then I highly recommend you check BioPhoenix out. Alright guys, for the second channel I'm going to shout out, it's a European gamer. From the Netherlands, I think. I sincerely hope I got that right. If I didn't, I really apologize. She's a female gamer, obviously, and I've been subscribed to her channel for about 1.5 years. I think closing on 2 years now. And she makes some really interesting content, and it's stuff that I really enjoy, because she makes really awesome reviews. She speaks really good English, and I always compliment her on that. And she's also an amazing artist, and she's always putting her art up on Facebook, and I'm always liking it, and providing her with a vote of confidence, because she does do a really excellent job with her artwork, and she's always improving on herself all the time. She makes everything from fairies and things along those lines. I think she's actually slowly working on doing an environmental art, kind of landscapes and things like that. So I hope she really excels in that kind of art form. And her channel is known as Dragoon Lagi. I sincerely hope I pronounced that right. So this is another person that I know on a first name basis. I'm also friends with her on Facebook as well. And I have quite a few conversations with her, and she's always polite, she's always respectful, and she just has a lot of great interests, in the realm of gaming, and she covers a lot of excellent topics as well. Not only does she do game reviews, she does unboxing. She has her own top 10 lists as well, on a wide array of different topics that are always interesting to listen to. And she actually has some great gaming memory stories, and she does some videos, with her boyfriend as well. And it's actually nice to see, and she does actually have some really interesting stories to tell. But non-gaming related, one of the things I do like about her, and she actually has this same interest that my wife has, and for anyone who's familiar with a lot of old age animation, she's a huge fan of The Last Unicorn, and that's one of my wife's favorite animated films of all time. And I actually noticed that I think when she did a room tour of her gaming setup, and she actually had a section of her shelf, you know, devoted to the Last Unicorn merchandise, and I really appreciated that because even though I'm familiar with The Last Unicorn myself, my wife is a really big fan of it. So it was nice to watch another person who loves that animated classic, you know, as much as what my wife does. But you know, if you want to watch somebody that has a really excellent review style and just has a lot of interesting stories to tell, I would definitely recommend checking her out. She's definitely one of a kind, and definitely one of the more original gaming YouTubers that I've actually had the pleasure of watching and knowing. Alright guys, for the third channel is kind of a surprise because I completely came upon this person's channel completely by random. I never knew of anybody who was subscribed to this channel. I completely came across her videos completely by accident. And how I found this channel was when E3 was going on, they were talking about announcing a JRPG that I wanted to know a bit of information about. But it was something that wasn't covered by a lot of bigger gaming channels. You know, they were just focused on the big E3 conferences and things along those lines. And the game was, I think it was called Aegis 13, you know, the Sentinels or something along those lines. It's another Vanillaware game, but it's focused on mecha this time. And I was looking up information about it, and when I typed in information about the game on YouTube, the trailers had come up, you know, that I'd seen before, but she was the only video that was really talking about this game, and I was really excited about it because I think at E3 they did announce that it was going to get a Western release. And I really appreciate the fact that, you know, she was one of the few gaming YouTubers on YouTube that actually brought attention to this game and actually let people know that it was getting a Western release. Now this person's channel is Gavin U, and she is a JRPG gamer, much like myself. But one of the things I think that's going to make her channel really interesting is that not only does she do JRPG news, you know, much like a channel, you know, Shadow Elite does, but she actually does her own gaming discussions on a wide array of JRPGs, and she also does her own reviews as well. And she's dabbled in live streaming a little bit as well, but I think she does a few top 5 lists as well. But one of the things that I do love is that I don't notice for sure, but a lot of the JRPGs that she's been playing have been fairly new JRPGs. And since I've been playing video games for a long time, I've always considered myself that I consider the golden age of JRPGs to be for the PS1. And as far as I know, I don't think she's dabbled into any PS1 JRPGs as of yet. I think a lot of the JRPGs that she's actually played have been some of the newer titles. And I've actually asked her, you know, if she has plans, you know, to actually touch into, you know, some of the JRPGs, you know, for the PS1 library. And she told me that she's actually interested in it. And I think that's actually really interesting, and it's going to bring something to a gaming channel that I've never seen before, especially when it comes to a JRPG gamer. It's that it would be nice to see someone like go back in time and revisit older JRPGs that they probably never had any knowledge about, that probably don't know of their legacies or like anything along those lines. Because I think one of the reasons why it makes for interesting insight is because when you look at an old game with new eyes, is that it's then you really see if a game has the ability to be timeless. And I think that's one of the things, if she intends on dabbling, you know, into older JRPGs, I think that's going to provide with some really interesting insight, and it might end up being some of her probably best gaming reviews or gaming discussions on her channel. But the gaming reviews and the gaming discussions that she does do for the more newer JRPGs are still incredibly enjoyable, and they're incredibly detailed. And it's kind of a crying shame that, you know, she only has, you know, 500 subscribers. And I think she deserves a lot more, because she has the full support of a lot of the hardcore smaller JRPG channels, you know, such as Shintai Reviews and, you know, Shadow Elite, and, you know, a few others as well. And she's gained my respect, you know, as a JRPG player, as a JRPG reviewer, and as a JRPG commentator. I think she brings some very interesting and respectful insight into the JRPG genre, and I would love to see her channel grow into new heights. You know, she likes to call her audience, you know, the Mew crew. So I think that's really adorable as well. But I've already shouted her channel out, you know, on my Facebook to try to get my other friends, you know, to subscribe to her as well. Because I don't see a lot of JRPG focused channels on YouTube anymore, especially smaller channels. So I think she's one of those channels that definitely deserves a shout out, and, you know, I would hope to see her get to the 1,000 subscriber benchmark, hopefully in the next 6 months to a year. So, little drink break, guys. Throat's getting a little dry. The next channel that I want to shout out is someone that I've known over the last 2 to 3 years. He's a close personal friend of mine. Probably one of the best people that I've ever talked to in my entire life. I consider him, the way that he talks, he's a poet, he's a philosopher, but he's a gamer as well. But I just enjoy all of his content 100% of the time. And it's not only based on what he talks about, but it's how he talks about it. It's how he analyzes it. Because he's very respectful about it. I always like to make the joke to him that, you know, he's one of the most chillest guys, you know, I've ever had the pleasure of knowing on YouTube. And he offers a ton of different content, stretching across different things, but his main foray is into gaming. You know, I did give him, you know, a very, very brief shout out, you know, on one of the videos that, you know, I made while I was up in Alberta, but I never had the opportunity to actually do a proper shout out video for him. And that guy's channel is someone that a lot of my friends are very well aware of, and that guy is Majority. And he is a person that will always have my admiration and respect for what he does for other people, but also for the content that he makes as well. Because he is the type of person that tries to keep negativity in the realm of video games, and especially in his own life, you know, to a bare minimum. He's always putting the needs of other people, you know, over himself. And he's just a great storyteller. You know, there are very few people, you know, on YouTube that just have the ability to just have such a great voice, to have a great sense of composure, to actually tell a really great story. And he's one of the few people that can actually do it effectively. And he responds to his audience. He's very polite, and he's incredibly generous. He's done a lot of nice things for a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, you know, especially who make video game content. You know, he was nice enough, you know, to send me a package, you know, back over the Christmas holidays, and it was an immense measure of his kindness, and I will find some way to pay him back for it, because he's just one of the most friendliest, genuine guys in all of YouTube. And not only is he a great storyteller, but he knows how to make you laugh. It's just how he speaks. It's just how he presents himself. It's how he analyzes things. It's how he describes things. It's almost addicting to listen to him talk. It really is. And it's just that, you know, he covers a lot of obscure games that, you know, you don't see a lot of people talk about, but he really knows how to make it appealing to each and every gamer out there. He knows how to, like, just find a good in any video game that he plays. You know, we all know that there's no such thing as a perfect video game. What may be appealing to one person may not be appealing to another person. But with how he presents the game, with how he describes the game, he manages to find a way to make any game be appealing. Even if it's by a very minute aspect, he still finds a way to make it appealing to any individual gamer. And he just makes just really down-to-earth, awesome video game content. And you know, sometimes his content may be a little inconsistent. You know, he's not on any kind of set schedule or, you know, anything along those lines. But, you know, he is a guy that is worth talking to. Just worth talking to. You know, as far as I know, you know, he responds to all the comments that are made on his video. He's always welcome, you know, for a friendly chat. And it's just like, I'm just absolutely mesmerized with just how respectful he is, how humble he is, and just how much of a wonderful person he is. And I really hope that, you know, even though his life is getting a little busier these days, I still hope he continues to make video game content on YouTube, because it always comes across to me as very heartfelt and very genuine. And I think he's literally one of the most unsung heroes, you know, when it comes to gaming channels, especially small gaming channels, and he deserves every bit of recognition, especially when it comes to video games and, you know, video game culture. Because for him, you know, he always tells me, you know, I have great quotes, I have great life lessons, and he especially loves the one that I make in which I say, you know, simplicity is the spice of life. Because he believes in keeping things simple. There's no reason to complicate things. There's no reason to make things more difficult than, you know, what they need to be. He's just someone who loves life, that tries to find the silver lining in any day he lives, and he's just an always upbeat, positive person. And I guarantee you, if you do watch one of his videos, if you do want to give his content a try, hopefully by the end of it you'll feel a lot better. So it's, like I said, the chillest guy I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. Alright guys, and for the final channel, it's been a channel that I've been subscribed to for about over a year. I really love this guy's channel just because he covers games that are incredibly obscure for a lot of obscure systems. You know, he touches on games, you know, for the Master System, for the Sega Saturn, Sega CD, Panasonic 3DO of all things. And I love the fact that he takes on and reviews games that don't have a lot of reviews, you know, on YouTube. He has a very interesting review style. You know, sometimes he mixes in a bit of anger, a bit of frustration with it, but I find his content engaging, hilarious, and a little scary from time to time, but it's always enjoyable nonetheless. And that guy's channel is MastercastTV. Now, I think MastercastTV only has about 700 subscribers, maybe a little more than that. But not only does he do game reviews, but he actually does horror shorts, you know, short films regarding horror. And they're always entertaining to watch because for anyone that knows me really well, I'm a big horror movie fan as well, especially when it comes to slasher films. Love slasher films. I'm actually playing the Friday the 13th game right now on my PS4, and I'm just absolutely loving it. So going back to MastercastTV, it's just a wonderful channel, just high production quality. It literally amazes me why he does not have more subscribers. He definitely deserves them. You know, one of the recent things that he took on that I found really engaging is that he looked at Resident Evil 2 for the N64. And that is something that I don't see a lot of people touch very often on YouTube. You know, when people talk about Resident Evil 2, you know, they'll either go to the GameCube remake or they'll go to, you know, the PS1 copy. But he done such a great job of analyzing that game and literally showcasing how well of a port that they did on that game, you know, for an N64 cartridge, even though it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But he did a great job at explaining the differences, you know, between the PS1 version and the N64 version. And it's just really interesting for to listen to him actually do his video game reviews, because he touches on a lot of interesting concepts, and he has a ton of great production quality associated with his videos as well. I think he does the scatter gameplay video as well, and that's always funny, and that's always interesting to watch because he gets angry, you know, when he gets killed, or, you know, he's not doing as well as, you know, what he would hope, and it makes for some very interesting content. But just overall, I just really enjoy his content for the fact that he does take on obscure games, and he does do reviews on games that don't get talked about a lot. So if you want to watch a really excellent gaming channel that touches on a lot of different obscure games, I highly recommend you check them out. Definitely one of my personal favorite channels, you know, I've watched over the last 18 months. So anyway, guys, those are 5 gaming channels that deserve 1,000 subscribers. And I always say this, you know, during one of these videos, guys, I'm still a small channel myself. I only have literally under a little over 1,200 subscribers. So getting a shout out from me probably won't get you to that 1,000 subscriber mark, but if I can bring a few new viewers to your channel, then that's all that really matters. And if I can just get one new person to your channel to actually watch the excellent content that you put out, then I'm perfectly happy with that. So anyway, guys, I'll try to get a few more videos made, you know, during the time that I'm home. So anyway, cheers to you all. I sincerely hope you have a great summer for yourself, for whatever little that is left of it, but try to enjoy it to your heart's content. And as always, guys, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best. Later.